What's up everybody, once again my name is Matt and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode we made our way to the Temple of Time, but sadly the entrance was blocked due to an explosion. There is another way inside, but it involves us going through the laynaru mining facility. Of course, to do that we need to activate this generator, which we can't do until we turn on 3 separate power nodes all throughout the desert. So in this episode we're going to find those nodes, turn them on, and start the generator. So what do you say we begin by opening up our map and getting rid of some of those older beacons and replacing them with ones that will lead us to the first node, shall we? Now I will try and use the beacons and my map more than usual to give you guys a better idea of where I'm going and where these nodes are, but if you do need some extra help, you can always use the dowsing ability. Anyways, first things first, I want to get rid of this bird enemy while I can, since he will try and bother us while we're trying to activate this first node, so I highly recommend you take him out just to save yourself some future frustration. Anyway, now that he's gone, let's make our way over to the second beacon. That's where we're going to find the first power node in that general vicinity. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff around here that we can bomb, so, it's worth checking out. We are going to ignore this crack in the wall right now. Instead, what we're going to do is take one of our bombs and toss it inside this second statue, because behind this is where we're going to find the first power node. Now, finding the nodes themselves is really only half of the problem, because obviously we're in the future, all the technology here is broken. So, on top of finding the node, we also need to locate a time shift stone. That way we could bring the node back in the past and make it usable. Thankfully for us, that cracked wall was hiding a time shift stone that will do just that. So of course, let's hit that to extend the time manipulation field, or whatever Phi called this thing, past that node. That way we can go and activate it. Now activating these nodes is pretty simple. Just stab it with your sword, and then you want to turn it to the left using the Wii remote and press A to finally push it in, and that will turn on the node and activate the water power node for us. So there we go, 1 down, 2 more to go, and that will give us a new water symbol on our map. Now that's going to be very important for later on, so just keep that in mind because we will need to reference that. Okay, so before we move on to get the next node, let's actually restock on bombs, because we will need bombs for the upcoming puzzles to, get to the other nodes and maybe find a treasure or two along the way. So might as well stock up to max. But yeah, I really don't think I need to reference my map or really move around my beacons for this next power node, because it's pretty close to the save statue where we started this video off on. So you can use that as your landmark and your guiding post to figure out exactly where you need to go. But yeah, you can probably already see it off in the distance. Here is another bombable wall. So let's just toss the bomb at this crack and see what happens, because believe it or not, when that thing explodes, it's going to reveal a passageway to a new area, and that's where we're going to find the next power node. Now, I actually like these mini areas a lot because they remind me of one-room temples. I actually enjoy going through these, but I can understand if people don't like these and find them tedious, because, they can be, but at the same time, I do like solving puzzles, so these are right up my alley. First things first, though, let's toss a bomb right over here into the center, because, guess what? Underneath that rock is going to be the time shift stone that we need for this small little room. Now, before we hit that, I actually want to be on this platform. Sadly, that guy is going to try to attack us, and I was hoping that maybe, I could turn around and block that, but whatever. Let's try and hit this time shift crystal quickly, because, guess what? Several hundred years ago, those crab enemies, yeah, they were little tiny balls that really couldn't hurt a fly. But, yeah, this room has changed drastically over the course of several hundred years. Not really sure, how all the sand got inside here, but you know what? I'm not really one to discuss, the logistics of, random stuff over long periods of time. Anyways, let's grab this thing when it's not, trying to shock us and place it on what I guess you could call, a converter of some sort, because, wow, that was unfortunate timing. But, yeah, what you want to do here is use your sword to knock the electricity ball into, this power converter, which will actually activate the gate, lifting it upwards and allowing us access to the back area, and that's where we're going to find the second power node. So, kind of an interesting little puzzle there. Anyways, let's try and stick our sword in this thing. There we go. And now we can turn on the second node, which is the lightning node, or the electric node. These nodes like kind of represent the three major areas of the game, with like the water node representing the Pharaon province, which might not make sense now, but it will make a lot more sense later on. The electricity obviously represents the laynaru province, you know, where we are right now. And later on we're going to find like a fire node, and that of course represents the Elden province. Anyways, though, we're pretty much done in here, so I'm going to ignore all these enemies and just like run out, because there's really nothing left for us to do but find like the third node. And it is like the farthest one away, but still it shouldn't take us that long to reach it. Along the way there is actually something else we can pick up, so look forward to that. Alright, so real quick, let me move around my beacons, that way I can give you guys a better idea of like where we're going and where that secret actually is. So the secret, I believe, is down this path, so let's place a beacon there, and I'll just use the other beacons to like sort of line out like the safest route that I can take. That way I can get through the sand without too much of an issue. So that's pretty much how you want to use your beacons. Just like use them to mark like safe paths through the sink sand to make your life a little bit easier. Anyways, before we go after this third node, I do want to get this secret. Like, the secret is kind of an important one, so I highly recommend that you grab it, although it is one of those things that I can see being very missable, just because it is kind of out of the way, and you might not think to look all the way back here, but exploration is rewarded, and of course, right back here is a cracked wall, so you know what we gotta do already. Let's chuck a bomb at it, and see what we can find on the other side. Like, you probably don't need to go and get this one right away. Like, you can probably come back for this a little bit later on if you want to, but we can get it now, so you know, why wouldn't we get it now? Watch out for a couple of these electric chews as you're running through this small cave. Like, they will just fall down from the ceiling and try to catch you off guard, but they're very easy to avoid. Anyways, here's that chest, and yeah, make sure you avoid that guy, but inside this chest we got ourselves another piece of heart. So there we go, only two more, and we can fill up our 11th heart container. And that's really all I came here for. So let's get out of here and go back to the main section of the desert. That way we can finally go and activate that third power node and be done with it. Like, all we have to do after that is turn on the generator, and then we can finally make our way inside the mining facility, which, by the way, guys, is actually the next temple of the game. Like, I know I really haven't mentioned that, but yeah, the laynaru mining facility is indeed the next temple, so get excited, guys. I mean, I'm not really too excited about it myself, because I'll be honest, I really don't like the next temple. Like, it might be my least favorite temple in the entire game, and that's saying something, because I actually do enjoy a majority of the temples in Skyward Sword. Like, I think the temple design is actually one of this game's strong suits, so for me to like not like a temple, it should kind of say something about the temple. Like, maybe my opinion has changed over the years, but I remember not enjoying myself going through this next temple, so I'll probably talk more about it, you know, once we actually get inside. For now, though, let's deal with these crab enemies. So I really want to get them out of the way, because there's a couple of things we can do out here in the desert before we go inside and find the next node. One of the most important things that you're going to want to do is actually create a shortcut back to like the very beginning section of the desert, and all you got to do is grab onto this switch just like that, and now you can go back to like the very beginning section of the desert super easily. Now that has been created, let's very quickly check out this save statue, just so you know we can come back to it sometime later. And now we want to go inside this building, because this is where we're going to find the final power node. So just like with the second node, we have like a one-room dungeon to go through, and this one's a little bit different, but still equally as intriguing. Now, here's the thing. This room does actually require some very precise bomb placements, which might not be that big of a deal, but the sand in like the second half of this room is moving, so it makes like killing one of these crab enemies harder than it needs to be, since obviously it sinks in. Like, we can't just like walk on the sand and kill these guys with our sword. No, we have to use bombs to kill them. So yeah, hopefully we can just, like, land the lucky bomb shot of the century and, like, take it out in one hit, but, it's highly doubtful that that will happen. Anyways, for now, though, let's, like, grab this bomb refill because, you know, we totally needed 10 bombs even though we were only 3 away from max, but, the first thing we want to do is roll a bomb at this pile of rocks because that's where the time shift stone is located, and holy crap, please do not roll that far away. Alright, at least it still managed to break those rocks. Now, here's the hard part. Before we hit that time shift stone, we actually want to, you know, kill this guy. That way we can use his shell and ride it to the other side of this room. Problem is, yeah, he's going to constantly try to attack you, and the moving sand is going to push our bombs away. So, basically, we need to sort of throw a lucky bomb and time it so that way it explodes and kills his shell while we're, like, far enough away from it, and he's going to roll at me again, isn't he? Yes, he is. Alright, this is not working whatsoever. I'm actually going to wait until, he sort of rolls up again, and then hopefully this bomb will detonate by the time he regains consciousness if the sand doesn't, you know, bring it too far away. Alright, there we go. That was perfect. Thank goodness. So now we can finally use this shell to reach the other side. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky with that bomb placement. I'm not really sure of a better way to do that. If you guys know of anything, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, now that we're on this side, really the only reason why we came here is, you know, so we can reach this upper area and make a shortcut back to the other side, because something is going to happen when we activate the time shift stone. But for now, let's open up this chest and get ourselves another piece of Elden ore. Not bad at all. That brings us up to, like, what, 8 pieces now? That's pretty dang awesome. Like, we still need more, like, monster claws and stuff like that before we can really create anything new, but it's nice that we have, like, a ton of the ore, so when we do eventually get, like, enough claws, we can make some pretty cool stuff. Anyways, I'm pretty sure I can, throw a bomb from up here, and that should hit the time shift stone. Yeah, that was, like, a perfect throw, man. Alright, so once that thing activates, of course, it's going to send everything back several hundred years and turn those crab enemies into the little tiny, like, battery balls that we need. Now, here's the thing. I think the game wants you to, like, jump down, pick up the ball, and then throw it up here, and then bring it all the way across. But, you can actually use your beetle, and, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to, like, realign myself here. That way I can get this a little bit easier. But, yeah, what we can do is take out our beetle and use this to carry the weird, like, electric ball all the way across this gap to the other side and put it inside the converter box, because otherwise you have to, like, jump down, and then I think you need to, like, throw it up the boxes and then carry it all the way across this upper platform, whereas using the beetle seems a lot easier in my opinion. So that's the way I would recommend doing it, but if you want to carry it for whatever reason, feel free to do that as well. But the beetle just seems like the quicker, more efficient way to do it. Plus, you don't need to worry about, like, the ball electrocuting you as you're sort of carrying it around. Anyways, just like last time, let's see if we can't get this thing to go right inside this little tiny converter box. Come on, get in there. And hello, Fi. A report, Master Link. My analysis indicates that you can restore this device to an operable state by inserting a source of energy. Yeah, I already know. Like, we literally did this once before, so I'm not sure why you felt the need to, like, pop out and tell me that, but apparently because it took more than, like, 2 sword hits, you thought I needed some help. Whatever, not that big of a deal. Anyways, here is the last node that we need to turn on, but first, let's open up these chests, because of course we want to get ourselves some treasure, and inside we got ourselves a monster horn, not to be confused with a monster claw, but still, it's something new. So, ta-da, only 4 more materials for us to find until we've got at least one of everything. And inside this chest we got ourselves another blue rupee, so nothing too special, but you know, it's worth picking up regardless. Alright, let's do it, guys. Let's activate the final node, shall we? It's taken a long time, but we've finally done it, and there it is, the fire node. Now we just gotta make our way back to that generator and turn it on. Shouldn't be that hard because it is pretty close by still, so not gonna take us too long. Master Link, all 3 remote power nodes have been activated. please make your way to the power generator in front of laynaru mining facility. Alright, will do, Fi. Like, I'm not sure why you needed to remind me to do that, considering that was kind of like the goal the entire time. Like, that's the thing about Fi. She interrupted me twice this video, and before now, like, all the advice that she had given us was kind of useful, but, the advice, like, she gave us in the 2 times that she showed up in this video were kind of pointless, like, not gonna lie. And the one thing I do dislike the most about Fi is, you know how she interrupted the first time as I was, like, trying to swing my sword and get that, like, little tiny battery inside the power converter? Like, that just interrupted the gameplay. That's what I dislike about Fi the most, when she pops up and sort of interrupts the gameplay. Like, if I'm walking somewhere and she wants to pop up and, you know, give me some advice about, like, a new area or something like that, I don't really mind that whatsoever. But it's like, when you're interrupting me as I'm doing, like, a particular action, that's kind of annoying, and it just, like, immediately takes me out of the gameplay. And, like, it's hard for me to say that because I actually do like Fi as a character. I think she had a lot of potential, just Nintendo really didn't reach that potential with her character, and instead limited her to having, like, 0 personality and just being kind of boring. But at the same time, I understand why she was needed, because obviously this being a Zelda game exclusively on the Wii was, like, meant for a more casual audience, and some, like, newer players might need a companion like Fi to help them, guide them through the complexities of, you know, a Zelda game, whereas more experienced players like myself just find it kind of intrusive. Anyways, though, enough about that. Instead, let's worry about this generator. So here's the deal. Think about this map as, like, a giant clock. So each of these symbols is at, like, a very specific time period. Lightning is at 12, fire is at 4 p.m., and water would be at, like, 9 p.m. So that's pretty much how you want to lay out the symbols on the power generator. So when we stick our sword in, you'll notice that we can move, like, all of them at the same time. So we're going to put, like, water at 9 p.m., press A to lock that one in. Then we're going to move fire and move that all the way to the right side on, like, the very bottom, which would be 4 p.m., and we're going to lock that one in. And then we have to put lightning all the way at the middle, which would be 12 p.m., locking that in, and that's pretty much how you activate this generator. So there we go, guys. We've done it. And guess what? With that, we should finally be able to enter the laynaru mining facility. The next temple, man. I am super excited about this. Well, actually, I'm not super excited about it, but I am excited to start a new temple, even if it is, like, one of my least favorite temples in the entire game. But there we go. The entrance is right up those stairs. So we're going to check that place out in the next episode. If you guys enjoyed this part, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. But once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.